Yeah, 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 yeah. Yo, 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 yo. About to get the dough. Ain't been sleeping on before. Nigga popped off with.
Well, welcome back to the latest edition of Minds of Mayhem Wrestling Podcast. I am one half of your co-host, Rome King. My guy over here, Nova. What's going on, bro? How you be?
Another day in paradise.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah. So we're just coming off after a 2 night live stream, WrestleMania. Basically, we just had you know, it was a big week for live streams overall, basically, and everything. And it was a good week. So, wrestling period. So,
Hmm.
you know, granted, WrestleMania overall was like, but I think it's like we had the high hopes that it would be like how it was last year's Mania.
Hmm.
I think that was the problem right there in itself because a lot of us wanted it to be so like successful. In all
Hmm.
honesty, it was like you're not going to get lightning in the bottle all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And plus, as fans, we're spoiled. But we'll get into as we get to the recap. Also, we're going to talk about John Cena versus Randy Orton for the last time at Backlash. It just got announced that they'll
Hmm.
be facing each other at Backlash in Randy Orton's hometown.
Yep.
Also, The Rock. He has had a hell of a week. Let's just say that. He has had a hell of a week.
Mm.
And if you know it, you watched him on Tuesday afternoon on Pat McAfee show.
Hmm.
So we're going to get started with the show. And let's get started how we always get started with the rundown. Okay, so let's get started. And we're going to get started just like this WrestleMania recap. Hold on a second, bro. Got to fix my camera a little bit. Still a little fuzzy. Nope, I'm all good.
There
Okay,
you go.
WrestleMania recap.
Hmm.
Overall, WrestleMania this year was good for what it was. It's just that some fans made it seem like it was like more than what it was supposed to be.
Hmm.
Such as, the main event of night two with Steven and Cody. And let's get into night one. So night one basically was the Jey Uso versus Gunter. That was the first match of the night.
Hmm.
And of course, as we watching the show, it was like great. It was a great opener to start off with because one, we all wanted Jay to win this match, point blank and
Right.
period.
Hmm.
It just a matter. It's just the fact of how he was going to do it and what he do. So he basically put all the arsenal out, did splashes, spears, super kicks, and then he even beat him with Gunter's own choke. So we knew it was up from the rip. So it was already great to see him get beat like that.
Right.
It's just the fact that it's just the fact that one, a lot of people was complaining and saying that Gunter tapped it too fast. But we know, but this thing is though, Gunter's not like being near naked choke at all. He doesn't like getting choked at all. Because if we know his history of like being tapped out, look
Mm-hmm.
at his match against Ilya Dragunov at NXT. I think Stand Deliver, I believe, and Dragunov was choking him so much he did one of these so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it is what it is. But go ahead, bro. What's your reaction towards that first match?
Um, I said for me, it was like it started off slow, as it should. Story of Jay Uso, um, being in that top spot, the main event. Well, not main event spot, but he's more like a main event guy now. So, I expected it to be slow paced at first, and then it picked up as the match went on. Um, I can say as far as the expectations of the match, it was I wouldn't say it was everything I expected, but it was there. The expectation was there. Like,
Uh huh.
um, the only thing was booking it. We knew the outcome. We just didn't know it was going to be that outcome of him choking out Gunther, which to me was the cherry on top of storytelling because of what happened with his brother and um the thing that the visual of seeing his brother bleeding and being choked out and all of that other stuff. So
Right.
um that was a good way to end the match. It was just the pacing of it could have picked up a little bit more. I would have loved to see more drama in the match, but it was a fair match. I'll give him that. It was definitely a fair match.
Okay. Um. Everything you basically said is 100% on point.
Hmm.
It was a good opener for the show. Let's just say that. And gladly we got the pick right of Jay Uso beating Gunther. That was the right pick for both of us. So kudos
Hmm.
to both of us for picking that right. I just think that the fact that we as fans, it was a lot of fickleness towards the match and everything because a lot of people turned on Jay before everything even happened.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that happened that fast and everything, and all of a sudden now they're like, "Oh yeah, Jay win." Like, come on now. Early on, y'all was like, "Oh, he shouldn't be in this predicament." Now all of a sudden,
Hmm.
like, "Yay, Jay is like champion." No, you chose your side. Stay over there. Let us have fun with our guy win the title. It is what it
Hmm.
is. All right, so let's move on to what's next. The next match that was on basically was like I'm going to like go by a few matches. The tag team match between New Day and the War Raiders was good. Good,
Hmm.
clean match. Both tag teams are great. Didn't expect much. New Day wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we get into what was next after that? Jade versus Naomi,
Hmm.
which was an okay match. Am I like the basically the decision of Jade winning? I was okay with it, but at the same time, Naomi was like the way she was like put in that predicament. I thought
Hmm.
she could have won the match,
Hmm.
but I mean, Jade, she did a showing off that spinning power bomb. That just show you how strong Jade is when she's in the ring. So it's like Jade is here to stay, and it's like it is what it is. So
Listen,
was you happy with the result of that match, Jade winning, or did you think Naomi should have won that match?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of expected Jade to win, and low key wanted Jade to win because
Okay.
this went back to what I was saying about Jade as far as like her debut, her singles debut rather at
Uh
Mania, and you want to give her that strong showing. Now, similar to the Jey Uso and Gunther match, I expected a little bit more. And I'm not going to take anything away from the ladies because the heel turn was kind of, I don't want to say late, but it was enough to build up to Mania.
Come on,
And then on
Naomi's heel
top of
turn.
that, yeah, Naomi's heel turn. Like it
Okay.
was, yeah, like I mean, it was enough to build it, but I think it could have been like a little bit more. But outside of that, that spinning power bomb,
Yes. Jay's a freak of nature. She's a freak of nature.
I thought she killed Naomi. I ain't gonna lie.
Not
I thought
just
she
because she killed
killed her.
Naomi.
Like Jade, keep that power bomb, please. For me, keep it.
I
But
think if we know Jade, Jade is very strong at what she does. If you've seen her work at AEW, you know she's capable of doing these things. It
mhm,
just depends on who she's in the ring with, the right person. That's the only thing. It just depends on who she's in the ring with. Because if she's in the ring with the right person, you're bound
mhm.
to get a good match at least.
Yeah,
Like
I
her
mean,
matches in AEW, I would say her match against Athena,
mhm,
great match because Athena can work with anybody. If we know her, she's a great wrestler herself.
mhm,
Matches with Thunder Rose, I believe, and Ty Mello. Like she had a good couple good matches in AEW.
mhm.
Remember, she was the first. I think she was the first woman to win the TBS championship. I'm not mistaken, or I could be wrong.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I could be wrong, but she won the TBS title and
And she was the
hasn't
longest
hasn't
reigner.
looked back since then. I think she's the longest reigning. Well, I think that record might be broken soon because Mercedes Moné has the title now, so
Yeah.
it might be broken soon. Even though
Hmm.
I still like hate the fact that don't wrong, I love Mercedes, but I hate the fact that Willow only had the belt for about like a month and a half and took it off her and gave it to Mercedes, which is still like
Yeah,
I
I
still
ain't
think this
like
that's
that.
still the dumbest decision ever made.
I ain't like that at all.
I didn't either, but yeah. But overall, Jay, like I said, she's on her way up.
Hmm.
She's like next in line for that big push coming up for her. So kudos to her for winning.
Right.
The next match that was on that card, I believe it was. Hold on, I think I have it on my phone. Hold on, I think I still had the notes of everything that happened that night. Pull up just to be on the safe side. The next match was the next match was actually I think it was oh, it was Ray Phoenix versus El Grande Americano.
Hmm.
But we just go for night one. It don't matter the order. Okay,
Yeah.
so originally it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, but Rey Mysterio, we recently found out has a groin injury,
Mm.
so he was out, and they replacing him with Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix debut match, great overall, decent. We knew El Grande Americano was going to win because the way that reaction he's getting from the fans and everything, even though we
Hmm.
know who it is, but it makes the most funniest sense. Because think about it. Remember, I think it was 2003, I believe, right?
Hmm.
Remember Hulk Hogan had his persona being Mr. America, and we knew who it was, but we acted
Right.
so dumb. We were like, "That's Mr. America. That's not Hulk Hogan." Even though he used the Hulk Hogan theme at that time, but remember Hulk Hogan's theme at the time was Voodoo Child.
Right.
So he came back Mr. America with the I'm a Real American situation. So it's like, yeah, I played the dumb part a little bit. Well, all in all, the 450 centon from Grande Americano.
Yeah. Um.
You
What the hell, Chad?
just said F it, huh? We just gonna stop playing dumb. It's Chad Gable.
Like
Ah,
I like when he did that, I was stuck. Like, did he really just?
a 450 centon.
And then, but here's the thing, though. I know he got a concussion from that because his head hit that mat crazy.
Well, actually, well, we didn't see him in the
Like,
following night, so I mean, who knows? But he finished the match with no problem. And if he got like, if he felt woozy, it would have shown, but it didn't show any wooziness. So I think he was
no,
fine.
I mean, yeah, I mean, kudos to him finishing the match.
Yeah,
I'm not taking anything away from that man. It's just when he did it, and I seen the replay, and they did it in slow motion. I'm like, yo, his head hit that mat.
right.
I hope he all right. But outside of that, like I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a 450 senton.
I think nobody has, bro. I think it's just like one of those things where it's like it happens, but you just gotta like go with the flow.
Yeah, because I mean, you got Ricochet's 630 thing. You got Juventude's 450. You seen Bianca hit a 450. You seen Brock hit a shooting star press, which I know he still regrets to this very
Yeah.
day.
Well, that shooting star press by Bright WrestleMania 19. That's something that he knows how to do it. It just that at that moment in that
It
light,
wasn't his night to do
it
it.
wasn't his night to do it. Cause originally when he was teamed up with Shelton Benjamin, when they was like on the on the
Hmm.
developmental scene, he could do a
Right.
shooting star press with ease. It just said like
No
you
problem.
said, big lights. That night he was not supposed to do it.
Hmm.
Now, granted, he finished the match that night, but that's one thing he was not supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's
But
move. But yeah, let's move on. So we, like we said, Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, did beat Ray Phoenix, and Ray Phoenix had a good debut for what it was. Even though
hmm
it was like last minute, but still great debut overall. Also, congratulations to WWE for acquiring AAA wrestling.
yes, sir.
So they just announced that in June 7th, I believe,
Hmm.
in Las Vegas, no, Los Angeles.
Hmm.
In Los Angeles, they will have the Worlds Collide, where I believe it will be NXT, AAA, and WWE all in one.
That's gonna be crazy.
The thing is though, that's the same like same time frame. I think all on the same day. You have that show, and then you have at nighttime you have Money in the Bank. So
Yep.
that whole one day is going to comprise a lot of wrestling. And no,
Hmm.
we're not live streaming that. We're
No,
not
no,
going.
no,
We're
no.
not going to do two shows for one night of live stream. We can't. Like I already said, the rule is live streams that we will have will only be for the big pay per views, like a WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. That's it.
Hmm.
This year we got to do two nights of SummerSlam. Remember, it's a two nighter now.
It's a two-nighter.
Oh Lord, I don't know why. Don't be wrong. I mean, it saves time. Everybody get on the card, yes, but two nighter of wrestling is insane. But like we always said, we're gonna be here for the streams. All right, my guy. Let's move on to the next match, which was L.A. Knight defending his U.S. title against Jacob 5-2, which
Hmm.
arguably was the best match of the night overall. Basically, the mid air BFT by L.A. Knight to Jacob 5-2 was insane.
Hmm.
Jacob 5-2 just being the beast as he is. Of course, he gets the dub, he gets the belt. Now we have a wild Samoan werewolf, aka America's Most Wanted, as the U.S. champion, which is insane. Think he came in last year, already has a title.
Yeah.
Now, only thing is though, can he? How long does he hold that belt? Though that's the only question. Because I already have a prediction of what's going to happen with him with that belt.
I got a prediction too, and we might be on the same page, but he might hold it till SummerSlam.
Okay, I mean,
Might.
that's who we lose it to though. That's the main thing. Are we on the same page with that?
Solo.
There we go. We're on the same page with that because I think Solo gonna take that belt, and he gonna have the help of Tama and Tunga.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it right now. I can see them screwing over Jacob because Jacob, like I said, Jacob is the next big thing in WWE. It's
Yes, he
him,
is.
Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Tiffany Stratton, and Lyra Valkyria. I can say her too a little bit. I would say those five are like the pillars right now.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, no, you can throw in Roxanne as well. Roxanne is still very young, and she's like one of the best NXT wrestlers today.
Absolutely.
So yeah, yeah. So let's move on. So like we said, Jacob won that match. It was good for him to win that match. Next match was the Battle of the Barbies, where we had Tiffany Stratton defending
Mm-hmm.
her women's WWE Championship against Charlotte Flair. Back and forth match. It was a fight, basically. Let's just be honest. It was just a fight. And of course,
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton came out on top. Now, if you see videos of her, you would think she lost a tooth. She didn't lose a tooth, luckily. That was makeup they said that they said it was. Wasn't anything else.
Oh, thank God.
But overall, the right person won the belt because Charlotte, granted, to her degree, she's an awesome wrestler. Nothing bad about her or anything. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
you came in, win the Royal Rumble, you damn near buried the girl. She had to go off script to make the feud look more promising. Granted, it was uncomfortable to hear a lot of stuff, but at the same time, like we talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
controversy sells. And
It does.
sadly, us bringing up the situation with her and her, her past and everything, her relationship wise and stuff, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it is what it is. So how'd you feel about that match?
Um, man, I honestly, this was the type of match where I never thought I would cheer for Tiffany Stratton.
Really?
Yeah, because honestly, I like we predicted that Charlotte was going to run because it's Charlotte,
Uh huh.
but for Tiffany to get the W, definitely well deserved. She she low key made me nervous because of the build up towards Mania, and it's not on her. I'm not going to put the blame on her, and I'm not going to put the blame on Charlotte. It was just they were trying to work with what they were given and make the
Yeah.
best of it.
Yeah.
So hats off to them. Outside of that, Tiffany Stratton definitely showed up and she delivered. And she's the first post NXT superstar to retain a championship at WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not. You're not mistaken about that. No.
So that says a lot about Tiffany Stratton and where they're going to, and what what's next for her. Of course, Nia Jax. Outside of that, I mean,
Which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nia Jax, but we already had that feud. And granted, I mean, Nia is great. Nia's been great since being back. She's known as like a great,
hmm
heel. She's great.
hmm
Now, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I love Nia, but I think we can do without it for a little bit. But I want to see where the story goes because after Friday night, I mean, we thought it would have been Naomi probably because now we seen that it was already like shown on Friday night. We're going ahead right now, but we're gonna get to it. Bianca Belair is basically on kind of like on the shelf with broken fingers, I believe.
hmm hmm
So she's gonna be out probably for a little bit, which is good for her. Get her some rest, let her chill out, let her relax.
Yeah, she deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. After the match they had, which we'll get into.
hmm
Um, but yeah, Tiffany's gonna be fine. Charlotte should be fine as well. It's just that what she does next.
I mean, is as much as a easy answer it could be, but what would be next for Charlotte is just to, I don't know, maybe. go back to the lab and not be out for so long and just work with the talent that she can be in the ring with. I mean, you came back, won the Royal Rumble, wasn't even in a lot of matches for the build up to WrestleMania. On
She
top of that,
had, I would say, she had one. Well, she had one match against B Fab. That was the one match she had. After
which to
that,
me was a squash.
for what it's worth, yeah, it gave B Fab some type of momentum in everything a little bit, but
Hmm.
you know, we gotta make B Fab look good because B Fab has been putting the work in the Heart Dungeon, so
Oh
she's
yeah.
getting better.
Listen, I'll be happy when BFAB can be on the level of a Bianca or Jade Cargill and definitely show what she can do in the ring because her time is coming. She just gotta hang in
Oh
there
yeah,
just a little bit.
definitely. She's that up next level because
Yeah.
mind you, she was always known as a mouthpiece for groups. She never was in the
Hmm.
ring this much. She didn't get into the ring in like until what I think last year during the tours.
Even I would say even 2 years ago, probably I believe, if that. But to that point, I feel like to go back to Charlotte, I feel like BFAB, if you're going to be that hill, give BFAB that shine and give her Charlotte.
Uh, like I said,
Because
well,
yeah, because honestly, one thing I could say about Charlotte, outside of whatever politicking she does, I don't really care. But outside of that, hard. She does her due diligence to put over superstars like a BFAB, like a Rhea Ripley, like a who else? Even Oscar, even though she beat her, she put Oscar over crazy.
oh yeah, with the match, yeah, definitely. But I
Hmm.
think I think Charlotte gets a bad rep regardless because of what she is and how what she does, and plus she's a Flair,
Hmm.
so
That
she's
too.
gonna
That's
get.
the only thing.
That's the thing. She's gonna get a better any way we look at it. All right, so we move on from that match. We had the main event, which was
Yep.
Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and of course with Paul Heyman in CM Punk's corner.
Hmm.
Overall, the match was great. It told the story of each wrestler, why each of them hate each other. Basically,
Hmm.
Roman was a emotional mess throughout the entire match because he kept looking at Paul Heyman and everything, telling him, "Yo, why you with him? Why you not here with me?"
Hmm.
Like he was an emotional wreck, and it was like, man. Then of course you had Seth Rollins, who, like we both said, came into the match with just worrying about himself. Because Punk
Right.
and Roman were worrying about Paul the entire time. That was the only issue. And so we get to the match back, like I said, it's all back and forth between all three of them.
Hmm.
Then we start getting to nitty gritty, basically, where Paul Heyman gets involved in the match,
Hmm.
hands a chair to Punk to possibly use. It was a chair he just put in the middle. We didn't put in the middle. He was like he was going to have to decide basically he was going to get a chair to between Punk and Roman.
Hmm.
Gave the chair to Punk. He came in the ring, dropped the one knee and low blow Punk. The crowd went crazy because everybody was thinking that Paul's going back to his tribal chief. And as you see Paul looking at Punk saying, "You made me choose. I didn't want to choose. You made me do this. You put me in this position." Roman he was happy, smiling with them big ass veneers he got.
Hmm.
Like his veneers is too damn big. I'm sorry. Like he really got them teeth done. But I digress. So then, of course, he hands a chair to Roman to hit Seth Rollins in the same position where Seth Rollins hit him when he joined the Authority. Remember when he based him in the back?
Hmm.
As Roman's about to swing for deer lights, Paul Heyman with the most funniest low blow hit Roman in low blow is the funniest way. He did it not once, he did it like 3 times. He went like like what the hell? And next thing you know, hands the chair to Paul. Paul Heyman hands the chair to Seth Rollins. Next thing you know, 1, 2, 3. After the chair shots and stomp to Roman, Roman gets pinned for the second straight WrestleMania main event of his career. Here we are. Seth Rollins
Hmm.
has beaten both. Has won the main event at night one. Walked out with Paul Heyman. Left CM Punk and Roman in the ring looking like lost. Overall, the match told a great story. We now see where it is going with Seth. As we saw Monday night, he's forming like his own evolution with Paul Heyman by his side, and with a
Hmm.
young up and coming superstar and Braun Breaker. All I know is like, what's next? How do you feel about the triple threat match? What was your like reaction of all this stuff happening as it processed through the match?
um, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like this was a full circle moment
Mm-hmm.
from when Roman and Seth first debuted on the main roster, WrestleMania 29. Bring it 12 years later. Um, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 years later. I was right. Um, to WrestleMania 41, and they're in the main event in a triple threat because, like I said in a previous episode, Punk brought them up as a part of the Shield,
All right.
and then you see the evolution of Seth Rollins, you see the evolution of CM Punk, and you see the evolution of Roman Reigns and how far they come throughout their careers, and it's only fitting to have a story like this come full circle. And the match lived up to its expectation,
Right. I agree with that.
beyond belief. It lived up to its expectation. So it's like it was nothing more else I could have asked for out of this triple threat. I mean, the drama was there, the story was there, the shock value was there. Um, Everything you can ask for as far as a main event for the triple threat definitely was there. So you couldn't ask for a better um, matchup out of that. So
Yeah, bro, I agree with that 100%. Cause for them three just to have that main event, no title, it basically you know what the title was? Paul.
it,
That was it.
yeah.
That was basically the title because
Hmm.
Paul Heyman was in a triangle between these three alpha males, and it's
Yep.
like, who do you choose?
Hmm.
And we know how Paul Heyman rolls. It just depends on who he's going to be with, and it's like, is he going to like work with that person?
Hmm.
Because we all know Paul Heyman's history of either teaming with that person or screwing them over.
Right.
So like I said, with now his new faction of him, um, Ron Breaker, and Rollins is the leader.
Hmm.
Sky's the limit with this whole faction. Now, question is, who else they're gonna add? That's the only question we have next. But we'll get into that next week. Possibly, we might have some more names or see what's going to happen next.
Hmm.
All right, so we go into night two, which arguably was which arguably was like the best night overall, somewhat. And the best night opened up with the best match of the entire WrestleMania card, both nights. The triple threat match between Bianca Belair, versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. The match even got a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer. And you know Dave Meltzer don't normally give 5 ratings to WWE products, depending on what it
True.
is. But for him to give that match 5 stars, hey, kudos. Because that match was a 5-star match. The back and forths, the storytelling. Bianca, I think she was injured during the match with her fingers. Like I said, her fingers got messed up.
Hmm.
Then Rhea doing what she does and everything. Io, since last year, I was actually no, I would say the end of last year, has been the best like women's wrestler in WWE, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Because the match she had with a lot of people, and then her getting the belt before Mania, and then keeping the belt after Mania, that's big for her. And I, like I said, I'm an EO person. I said I was hoping for her to win because it made the most sense. I would love
Hmm.
to see Bianca win or Rhea win, but EO made the most sense to win this match. My only issue is the booing of Bianca. That's the only issue I got, and it doesn't make sense. But them booing her can fixate to make her heel.
Hmm.
Only thing is though, the fan base that she has and everything, I don't know if she can turn heel. But
I
then again, we
mean
can't say that because look at John Cena.
that. Yeah, I was about to say. I think the thing is like when it comes to Bianca, like she she's in that position where there. I don't want to say she's going to be like the next overrated superstar, but she's not
Oh
even
no, definitely
overrated
not.
in a sense.
Definitely not.
Um, but I will say though, like she's definitely one of those superstars where you see her in like the top spot, and she's the go-to,
Yeah.
and rightfully so.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
in this instance, I think she's getting booed because of the position that she was in as far as being out there and being involved in a match to some degree. Now, it sucked that it had to be Rhea Ripley defending the championship and she loses it. That could have been the Mania match that we could have gotten this past weekend between Rhea and Bianca because that was the story that has been talked about since 2020.
Right.
And so and like I said, this was my opinion as far as Io was concerned. I didn't see her being in that match or needed to be in that match because, like I said, the story was right there between Rhea and Bianca, and that could have been it. But as the build-up started to get, like, the build-up started to pick up, I kind of sort of understood why Io was needed and why she fit the mold to be in that rivalry or feud or story or whatever the case may be, is because similar to last year, she was the underdog. And even though she lost, I couldn't I couldn't see Io losing 2 straight manias as a champion.
Uh huh.
And again, to go back to Jay and Gunther, I didn't see Gunther losing 2 straight manias as a champion. So, with that being said, I enjoyed the match for what it was. I wanted Rhea Ripley to win. Um, I feel like Bianca, to me, should turn heel and then become champ,
I can see
just to
that.
see where her character goes from here and what she's going to do differently as a heel
Right.
opposed to her NXT run as a heel.
Right. I got you. But yeah, but everything you said is very like factual, 100% on that. Um,
Hmm.
Like I said, the match was 5 stars, if not the best match on WrestleMania card by far. And they basically showed that the women in WWE are on another level.
Mhm.
Granted, NXT's women's roster is still one of the best rosters too, but for a WrestleMania women's match to kick off the show, and arguably, well, not even arguably, is the best match on the card overall, tells you a lot. That's all I can
Mhm.
say about that. But let's move on. The next match, I believe, was Priest and McIntyre, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
It was basically a Sin City street fight. It was very like tough. Everything was like, extreme. The table spot, the Claymore right into the chairs. McIntyre won. Is
Mhm.
what it is. I thought Damien was gonna win. To be honest with you, but McIntyre winning makes the most sense because one, he needed it because after the matches he had against like Punk, um, didn't get eliminated in both the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. He needed a W at least. He needed it. Let's move on. Like I said, we try to get to the nitty gritty of some of the other stuff. Then we
Mhm.
had the Logan Paul AJ Styles match. Logan wins. Who cares? I'm not no. I'm not joking because it's like the match is okay, but it's like where do we go now with Logan?
You
Now, I
already know
mean,
where they're gonna
granted,
go.
I can see them having him fight Jay for that world title,
That's the answer right
but
there.
it's like this WrestleMania match between AJ Styles and Logan didn't make not one lick of sense. You add in Karrion Cross, who I'm a huge fan of. If you watch his promo after Mania, where he just went
Mhm.
like a rant and just started like spazzing out, it showed you that they're gonna push that man this fall, well, this summer for real. Cause cause Karrion Cross he's a great character. The
Mhm.
whole everything he says about everything, it comes to fruition. Cause think about it, everybody who he affected as you became heel or they won championship gold.
Mhm.
But think about it, look what he talked to a lot of people, so it's like who's next? That's the question. All right, moving on. We had the fatal four way for the IC title. It was Penta, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Braun Breaker for the IC title.
Mhm.
Good match. Everybody did their part. Everybody did what they're supposed to do in the ring. I did call it that Dom was going to win and he was going to pin Finn to win that title. Now
Yep.
Dominic has followed the footsteps of his uncle Eddie as he's an IC champion,
Eddie.
and it's like Dom got a pop too after he won. And
I'm
his thing
telling
is
you,
though, Dom's a heel, so it's like for him to have that pop, and then he ran back into the ring. That was unscripted, I believe, too.
it
Him running
was,
back
but
into the ring just to celebrate with the fans.
he
That wasn't supposed to
he
happen.
deserves it.
He deserves
He
it.
deserves
Definitely
it.
does. Like he like the gear he had on Raw as the heel. He was one of the most
Mhm.
hated heels, and then he started becoming loved by the fans. It takes a
Mhm.
minute for the fans to love you, and it showed right there the fans do love him. They even doing the song "Dirty, Dirty Dom, Dirty, Dirty Dom." Like they doing that now for him.
Mhm.
So it's only a matter of time if he becomes face again, and we'll go from there.
I say
Overall,
he
like
should. I say
I,
he
I
should.
mean, I 100% agree, but they ain't gonna make him go face just yet. Give it time,
Yeah,
let it
just yet.
breathe.
Yeah, just yet. Just yet.
All right, and then we okay. So how do you feel about that? Are you satisfied with Dom winning the belt?
Hell yeah.
Okay, let
I
me move.
mean,
Okay, go ahead.
it was long overdue, and the man definitely, even though yeah he was a heel, but let's look at his North American title run.
Where he didn't defend it as much, but
He,
is what it
he
is.
ain't defended as much, but he definitely put in work.
He made
He
the
was
title look.
on.
He made the title like look cool again. I mean, it was already cool. It just that
Hmm
He beat who did he beat for that belt? I believe
He beat Carmelo,
no, it wasn't. He didn't beat Carmelo. No, I think he beat who did he
or,
beat?
or was it?
Oh, let me look it up. Hold on, I'm looking at it right quick.
Or did he beat Solo?
No, it wasn't Solo either.
It wasn't Solo. Oh, all right. I know it had to be somebody because it was a hell of a shocker. But whoever he beat, he
I'm
he
about looking
he,
at it
he
right
definitely put
now.
in work.
He beat Wes Lee.
That's who it was. Yup. Okay,
It was an NXT night, and he beat Wes Lee for it. And then he
that makes
lost it
better
against
sense.
Trick Williams. But the
Hmm.
following, I would say, what Monday, well Tuesday NXT, he beat Trick Williams for the belt, and then he wound up losing it to Dragon Lee.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall, like we said, Dominic deserved his win and everything, so it is what it is.
It
Okay,
is
so let's
what
move
it is.
on to the women's tag team title match, which consisted of Liv and Raquel Rodriguez defending against Lyra Valkyria, which was supposed to be her and Bailey, but Bailey got hurt, but Bailey got pulled from the match
Hmm.
for the returning of the man, Becky Lynch, who received a great pop and everything.
Hmm.
Overall, we knew it was going to win. I mean, Becky and Lyra won the match. Now, granted, they lost the titles the following night, and now Becky then turned on Lyra. So we'll see how that goes. We'll move fast from that because, like I said, that match was like it was there. Bailey got like I feel bad for her. That's the main thing. But like Triple H said, Bailey's a pro. She knows like
Hmm.
she's gonna get hers when she gets it. But at the same time, she should have been on the card. It shouldn't matter if Becky came back. Like she should have been on the card. But at the same time, you look at Bailey, like her disconnect with some of the fans and everything. Not all the fans, but it's like if you know, like she don't get that same reaction she had before.
Hmm.
But let's move on. Let's move on. And we had the Randy Orton Open Challenge. And man, it was an open challenge for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Cause what
Yeah,
happened?
it was.
What happens when you say his name and he appears? Joe Hendry came out there and accepted the open challenge from Randy Orton. Received a big pop from the audience. Randy gave him a big rub basically by beating him. Even did his like pose after the match that he RKO'd him twice.
Yep, and I called that one too.
Yeah. So
I
it
figured.
was good to see Joe Hendry get that moment because, in all honesty, we know once his TNA contract is up, you know where he's going.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's going to straight to WWE.
Without a doubt.
All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get into this main event that consists of John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. And
Hmm.
may I say, the match was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Cena outclassed him a little bit in the ring, matched him up a little bit, wrestled with him and everything. Match was getting a little slow here or there. Referee gets knocked
Hmm.
down. Out comes Travis Scott. I know a lot of fans this week were like, why is Travis Scott out here? It don't make sense, but he's a heel. He's doing everything he can to make you upset.
Hmm.
Walking slow as hell down to the ring, rubbing his title, his custom title.
Hmm.
So it's like I know a lot of people was like really upset with it and everything. They was like, "Oh, the Rock's gonna come out. The Rock's gonna come out. We didn't get the Rock,"
Nah.
which we will get into soon. We'll talk about that as well.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, Cody and Cena was going back and forth with the title. Cody had the title in his hand. John was pleading with him not to hit him with it. Like it's basically a teachable moment for Cody. Like go
Hmm.
for the kill. Do not fold. Cody folded. Got kicked in the nuts. So yeah, that next thing you know, John Cena hits him with the title. Here comes referee. 1, 2, 3, and new lady champion for the 17th time as a
Hmm.
world champion. Breaks the record, John Cena. And then, Cody got a receipt back from he crossroad Travis Scott, who took it very well. He did take it well.
Surprisingly.
He wasn't terrible. He took the crossroads very well. So I give him kudos there. I mean, it is rumored that he was training with Booker T. So I mean, if he's
Hmm.
serious about doing this, hey, props to him. There's already been rumors about him being a tag team with John Cena. Him and John Cena versus I think somebody else in Bad Bunny, I believe.
Oh dear God.
It's rumored. I don't know what's gonna happen or not, but like I said, both rappers are into wrestling. They take it seriously, so it makes sense. But all in all, what was your reaction towards the main event of night two? And was you because it's like the match was like so but I'm of opinion,
Hmm.
John Cena did what he was supposed to do and said he
Hmm.
was gonna ruin wrestling and basically getting everybody gets nothing. Well, I know a
Yep.
lot of fans are not gonna say, this the match was terrible. I'm like, look, you put yourself in a predicament where you thought something was gonna happen and it didn't.
Hmm.
Like it was reported about, situations with the Rock and everything. But I'm not gonna get into that situation. Like I said, that's his own like topic for us tonight.
Hmm.
All right, so like I said, what was your reaction towards this match?
Um. Overall, eh, I agree with part. I agree with part of the fans' complaints as far as like how the match itself played out. At the same time, like you said, John Cena did his job, and John Cena is pretty much, you know, being that heel to pretty much play out what he said he was going to do.
Right.
Not a lot of heels do that. So if somebody said they're going to ruin wrestling, you figure, he's not going to really ruin it, but he's
He,
living up to
but
his word.
but the thing is though, he kind of did. Cause think about it, he had Travis Scott come out there, walk slow as
Hmm.
hell.
Hmm.
Everybody's upset. Everybody's pissed off. They're like, "Yo, boo this guy. This guy sucks." Basically everything, and plus you see Cena smiling when he came out.
Hmm.
So it's like Cena know what he was doing and everything. So, like I said, he did his job. I just think fans they had a perception of WrestleMania is the like thing that tell WrestleMania. It basically saying WrestleMania is basically the place where stories end. No, it doesn't.
Hmm.
Not
Nah,
all the time.
nah.
Some stories do get finished at WrestleMania, like last year at WrestleMania 40, but
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't. Like you can't expect for every year to be like, oh, there's gonna be a conclusion to the story. No, you can't expect that. Like we have had like situations and stories where they last for more than about 2 years.
Hmm.
I want you to think about this. Just think about this for 1 second.
Hmm.
Remember WrestleMania 39 Night 2. What happened? Cody lost.
Cody lost. Yep.
Everybody was upset. Everybody was pissed. Like, oh no, they screwed Cody. Like, look, it's a story. This is
Hmm.
basically Cody going through hard times during that whole year. Cause think about it. What happened to him right after the match against Roman? He got into a situation with Brock.
Yep.
So it's like we can't like we as fans, we have to stop thinking that WrestleMania is the end all be all for stories, and which is not.
It's not. It's not.
But as we get into that, let's get into let's get into that's our WrestleMania recap. That's our WrestleMania recap. Congrats to John Cena and being the 17th world champion. He's in the record books. It'll never be broken. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I want to get into some other stuff. So let's do it, bro. God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on. So of course, we had the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and so we just had to talk about this for a little quick second. Is The Rock gaslighting? If anybody watched the interview that was Pat McAfee show on Tuesday afternoon, where Pat McAfee had The Rock come on the show as like I guess like a last minute thing or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
we saw Monday night Pat got choked out by Gunther, which is kind of insane. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's like is what it is. Now we know tomorrow night he's supposed to be talking in the ring after getting choked out by Gunther. So there's that. But back to The
Yep.
Rock. So he came on the show that night and was talking and everything. Well, that more afternoon, basically saying that WrestleMania was good. Here's some things I would have changed and everything. And then he's talking about how a lot of fans were expecting him to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Now he said it himself. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was not. He basically said his work was done at the Elimination Chamber, which made like a lot of fans like upset and everything. And this, and I'm like, well, it was already reported like I said, in the last year, possibly maybe, that The
Mm-hmm.
Rock wasn't even booked for Mania. He wasn't even booked in the card or anything. So it went towards that, and then of course he went and said, "I would have did this way." Basically, he was saying that he was like kind of like calling Triple H for the booking of them shows and everything. It's like a lot of fans are upset because they didn't get the ending that they wanted. And then it's like, you can't get upset because he's basically telling what happened. Now, The Rock is
Mm-hmm.
The Rock. And we know that how he is and everything when it comes down to like mainstream and everything. And he already
Mm-hmm.
reported that Elimination Chamber ticket sales were low. So him saying that he came to Elimination Chamber, him and Travis Scott as a story wise. Now Travis was supposed to be in the story from the beginning all over. Basically, what he's saying, he's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
involved regardless, even The Rock wasn't there or not.
Right.
The Rock was just there, when The Rock got added to like the whole story of the situation with Cody and everything, taking his soul and all that stuff. That was like last minute, and The Rock was like, "Look, they wanted to turn Cena. They was going to turn Cena heel. I think after Mania,
Mm-hmm.
but they decided to turn him heel at Elimination Chamber, where The Rock basically did the whole cutthroat thing, and we go from there. You thinking that The Rock is still involved with Cena, but after Elimination Chamber, we ain't see The Rock at all no more. Which
Mm-hmm.
brings up to the point that they already reported beforehand that The Rock was not going to be involved with Mania. Just that for Elimination Chamber, they had The Rock come there because of ticket sales. And ticket sales did go up ticket sales did go up more because The Rock was going to be there in appearance.
Mm-hmm.
It made for a great moment because Cena turning heel was a big moment. It's just that
Exactly.
I know a lot of fans were expecting The Rock to be at Mania. So it is what it is. Now, of course, that brought a lot of like scrutiny by a lot of like media personalities. And by
Mm-hmm.
media personalities, I mean Dave LaGreca, who is mostly known
Yeah.
for hosting Busted Open Radio with Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Nick Nemeth, and so on and so on. So he had a rant basically saying F the Rock, F John Cena, F this and that. So it made the Rock come out. It made the Rock comment on one of the posts, and this is what he said. That's what he basically said. Now, the Rock saying all that, it made a stir because one, you're basically just like, gaslighting like hell. Granted, he didn't need to do this whole press tour, everything, all that stuff. He didn't need to say any of this bullshit. But, you know, if I'm the Rock, I would just just say, look, the show was great. I'm here to promote a movie or something I'm doing. That. Don't comment granted, you're allowed to do what you want. My only issue is the fans that are like upset. It's like one, the story could still be going on. It's like we don't know what could be happening afterwards. Like, the story could still keep continuing. Just because The
Mm-hmm.
Rock didn't show up to WrestleMania, like this goes back to what I said earlier. Mania is not the end all of stories. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it is, sometimes it's not. It just that happens that this year it was not.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to get this perspective where WrestleMania is that place where it's like the end of the story. It's not. It's always not. So I know this is your guy. I know you've been a Rock fan since you was a kid. How did you feel about him going on Pat McAfee, and then, like I said, just read the comment he left on the Busted Radio Opens Instagram, him saying that. How did you feel how The Rock handled this? Because to me, he kind of like gaslighted everybody. It made everybody pay him even more.
Okay, I get the fans' gripe as far as what The Rock said. I get it, but if people were to sit down and actually thoroughly, and I'm a highlight the word thoroughly, listen to what The Rock was saying, you will understand it a little bit better.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna dissect the whole the whole thing of what he was talking about. We're gonna start at Backlash. Ari Emanuel made the phone call to The Rock.
You mean Louis Chamber?
Well, Chamber, thank you.
Yeah, Backlash is next
Um,
month. Yeah,
yeah, I'm sleepy. Anyway, um,
over. We good.
uh, Ari Emanuel made the phone call to The Rock for Chamber. And what Rock said was he got the phone call because he was told that tickets are moving slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why not have the biggest star in the business help move more tickets? Was he really needed? No,
No,
but why not?
there's no here, no
Okay,
foul. Here, no foul.
exactly. So then he went on and said, um, he got the phone call, tickets moving slow. Okay, cool. Now, when he got to the part of him saying that his work is done, what was the problem? And the only reason why I asked that question is because people, I would say fans, I'm going to say fans, fans always expect The Rock to show up this place, this place, this place, this place. When the main person telling this story is John Cena. as far as the heel turn. The Rock is the supporting character to John Cena right now. The main focus should be on John Cena. Yes, I get The Rock was needed. Everybody in their grandma knows that. But if somebody like The Rock says the final boss's work here is done, it shouldn't be no backlash towards him because the main person that's driving this heel turn, this story right now is John Cena. That's who's the champion. That's who's the focus on. That's who's driving the product right now as champion. What service would The Rock serve, or what purpose does The Rock serve being there along with John Cena? He's just a big name in the background. Now, this is the other point that I was talking about on the other podcast that I'm doing, Turning Time Again. Subscribe, check that out.
Yeah, subscribe to the other podcast, y'all.
The issue that people had with the main event of Cena versus Cody. Does anybody realize that there's another match where the fans hated how that match ended and who booked that match? Vince McMahon booked that match. Vince McMahon went out there and turned Stone Cold heel.
Oh yeah, where
Why?
that's still like the
Look,
most. I mean, granted, I understand the reason he was trying to do it, but in that moment, Stone Cold didn't need to turn heel.
mm-hmm. Now, a lot
It
of
was a
people
it
would
was a it
say,
was a it was a pointless heel turn. But go ahead, bro.
yeah, a lot of people would say the same thing about John Cena. John Cena didn't need to turn heel. It should have been Cody. Now, if you
Yeah,
think
part.
about it
Yeah.
this way, if you think about it this way, Cody is still going to turn heel in my prediction. He's still going to turn heel. Give it time.
Yeah, it's time frame. Yeah, definitely.
The Rock didn't need to be there at Mania because, again, and I'm going to reiterate this again, the main focus is on John Cena in number 17. Could Rock have worded things better? Absolutely. He said this is how you know people don't pay attention to what Rock even says, and I'm related to the whole situation in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
The man was trying to do a good thing, he just worded it different, and he got backlash for it.
Big
It happens.
backlash.
The man's human. But of course, when it comes to the wrestling fans, oh, Rock should have been there. No, because all the focus would have been off of John Cena and on The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Rock is the biggest star in the company, or in the business rather. Why would he want to take anything away from the two people that's already in this match, putting on a match for the fans? Why would you want him there? Now, the other part that pisses me off about people giving Rock heat, and this goes to Dave LaGreca. You're a fan of the business. You're a fan of wrestling. I love that for people. I get it. You have expectations of what you want as far as stories, feuds, rivalries, all that other stuff. I love that for the fans. But what y'all have to understand is the business aspect of it. Everybody's talking about we got no explanation on why John Cena turned heel. He clearly explained it without explaining it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this is another piece of jewels or jewelry. What the hell am I saying? Here's another piece of here's
Jewelry. Yeah.
here's another jewel I'm gonna drop for most people that don't understand this whole situation.
Right.
What did Rock say to Cody the week before? I think it was like 2 weeks before Mania. He said, "If you become my champion,
It was after. It was 2 years before Nation Chamber. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chamber. Thank you. He said, Cody, if you become my champion, everything that you have wanted will be yours, no questions asked. Pin that. Then we go to John Cena turning heel, not turning heel, but John Cena at the Elimination Chamber press conference. Well, no, damn, the Royal Rumble press conference.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "What's best for business is for me to main event WrestleMania and get the 17th championship." Why aren't people paying attention to what that man said and added to what The Rock told Cody?
Because here's the thing. The reason why I say here's the reason why. Because think about it. Him saying all that, it made like when the Rock basically came out at you know Elimination Chamber. It
Hmm.
was basically that was like kind of like a corkscrew in the story a little bit. Now, granted, like you said, the Rock didn't need to be there, but for ticket sales purposes, he came and saved the day, which he did. Even though
Hmm.
it came into the moment of like we said, Cena turning heel, which he was originally supposed not to turn heel. It was supposed
Hmm.
to be Cody, but Cody didn't want to turn heel,
Hmm.
which I can respect too because you look at Cody. Cody has been like the ultimate face of WWE.
Hmm.
But like you said, the fans just have this gripe of saying that one, The Rock should have been at Mania night, whatever, night two.
Hmm.
Sadly, he wasn't. It is what
Hmm.
it is. We just move on. But like you said, fans are very hell bent on, like I said, they keep thinking that WrestleMania is the end all be all for stories, which is not.
It's not. It's not. And then when Rock said, we'll get back to it, that should have been the end of the whole hitting Rock with a bunch of BS because he said he's coming right back, folks. He's going to be back. Just shut up. That's all y'all gotta do.
That's the thing, though, bro. You know how fans are. If they don't get what they want, they'll have a bitch fit.
Oh
Think
my
about
God.
yeah, you have to think about it. When it comes down to it, and we're gonna move on to this. Cause
Hmm.
we have one more topic, and then we have the Kings list.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm like I said, this topic I really want to talk about because, like I said, right? Granted, The Rock didn't need to say what he said and the way he put it. Did that comment he put?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was no need for that either because it's a comment surrounding him talking to Coachman, who he's cool with still to this day, saying that you're gonna be at WrestleMania this year, and he said, "Don't believe everything you hear." So it's like sometimes it's like The Rock can't be like one. He can't say one thing and then be like, "Nah," because it's like, granted, you know how this business work, bro. You've been in this business for so long. He even had it in his old show, Young Rock, working the gimmick. Now, granted, like we both said, the story can still continue to where The Rock is involved somehow. Just that we
Hmm.
don't know. And then it's already here. I said that one person already said my soul's up for sale. He didn't give a name, but he said my soul's up for sale.
Hmm.
So it's like The Rock, he has a lot of stuff on his plate, movie wise, like any his business adventures, everything wise, all that stuff he has on his plate.
Hmm.
So, and we're gonna move on. We'll move on after your last word because I want to keep talking about it because number one, fans have to understand in wrestling, you're not gonna get always what you want because you're going to be upset. The wrestling is supposed to make you feel happy, sad, mad. It's supposed to have those moments
Hmm.
where you're pissed off.
Hmm.
Them having The Rock do what he did, and it's another thing too. It ties into the new show they have coming up called WWE. I think what's it?
Unreal.
Unreal. Yeah, that show.
Mm-hmm.
That show. I don't think it need to be made. If they do it a different way, then okay. Because you look at a promo of it, it shows them talking to like Rhea Ripley. Then you see Triple H talking to Juice, say we'll put a rocket ship behind your back and everything, all that type of stuff. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're in the era where wrestling kayfabe is dead, and we already know this. But to have a show that's going to be on Netflix, where come here, back in the day we had Beyond the Mat. Remember Beyond the Mat
Mm-hmm.
when we
Mm-hmm.
had that show, and they showed Mick Foley, Mankind, and The Rock talking back to like a normal talk conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And back then that was like one of the business things where it's like, yo, should we be looking at this because they're supposed to be heels, they're supposed to hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
So but you got the last word on this. So go ahead.
I mean, put it to you like this, fans. I get where the heart is. I'll put it to you like that. I get where the heart is, but your brains is not there business wise.
Okay, and we're in it like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got two more things, and we gonna head out here. We've been on here for almost about an hour and some change, bro.
Give the
And that
people
came
what they
from us
want.
talking about. That came from us talking about this, talking about the Rock situation. Because, like I said, when I saw and heard the interview, I knew once it happened, he was gonna get backlash. I knew it was gonna come. All right, let's get on to this last topic, and then we get to the King list. John Cena versus Randy Orton for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
As we seen Friday night, we just saw that it was announced that it'll be Randy Orton versus John Cena for the last time ever, basically, for the WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically the 20th. They basically known each other for 25 years, but this is the 20th anniversary of them being on screen for the first time. Because their first time being on the screen together was, I believe, SummerSlam of 2004, I believe. So that was their first time ever being against each other on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So of course the back and forth and everything started on Monday night when Cena came out there, to celebrate his win, telling everybody that I am the last real world champion. I will take this belt after my days are up. If you notice, he does this thing where he shows the days of like how many days he came on and everything and stuff. It's the most hilarious shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
He legit had, I think it was 36 days on the date. He
Yep.
counted each time he came back. It went down to 27. Now this past Friday, now it's down to 26. So Cena know what he's doing. The match should be great between these two. Like I said, both of them have known each other like the back of their hand in the ring. They had
Mm-hmm.
matches where they was one on one against each other, or they tag team with each other or against each other, so they know what they're doing. All I know is that it's in St. Louis. Don't know where it's going to go as the finish, but I'm definitely going to be watching it because this is going to be the last time that we'll see Orton versus Cena one more time.
Yep. Yep.
So what's your because growing up, me and you watching these two fight, you were always a Randy guy, even though you didn't like Cena at the time, but you like Cena now as a heel. But before then, you was a Randy guy because Randy was that apex predator. Even though he had a skinhead haircut, but he was just apex predator. So, what's your reaction towards them? This being their last match ever, and then on top of that, it being in St. Louis and Randy Orton's hometown.
I I hope it doesn't disappoint, and I know it won't disappoint, but um, this is one of those greatest hits like runs John Cena has to be on for his last run.
Right.
And
I agree.
we already got excuse me, we already got Randy kicking it off, and I'm hoping Punk is down the line at some point. Um, hell, and this is one of the things I wish Edge was around for because Edge and Cena definitely put on some bangers back then.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Edge versus Cena one more time, but sadly, I think that ship has sailed.
Yup, it has sailed. Um, I expect a clinic and I expect a good match. Considering the history between Cena and Orton. And I'll never forget uh what was that pay-per-view bragging rights where Orton tried to kill that man with the pyro.
Oh
Like
my
that was
god, I remember that.
I remember that and it to this very day, like I would have been destroyed if that was the go wrong. But yeah, I mean you would think and I feel like it may happen, but if Randy Orton wins, cool. If not, where does Cena go from here as world champ? Because a lot of people saying, give the belt to Randy Orton, and to me, if John Cena is going to be a transitional champion as a heel, I don't want this to end now. I want to see how far he can take this before he actually retires.
Right.
And if he does drop it, have him drop it at SummerSlam. I think that's the perfect place for Cena to drop the belt because that gives him um elongated heel run on top of a title run, and after that, if he drops the title at SummerSlam, we can get the Cena that we know and love back, and the Cena that I hate. So, um, uh, but as far as Randy and Cena goes, I expect a banger of a matchup. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm
definitely.
all in for it. I'm all in for it.
Yeah, like I said, the whole back and forth they just had this past Friday night on SmackDown, great.
Hmm.
It's like it's basically like an alternate universe where Cena is the heel and Randy's the face. It's insane.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't wait for it. I'm glad they finally gonna do this match and everything. It makes sense for it to be Randy versus Cena as his first last match of one of his rivals.
Yep.
So, like I said, it's gonna come down to what's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen, and hopefully there's no shenanigans where a certain somebody comes back that needs to come back for ticket sales. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I can't wait for the match. It's next month at on in May. I think in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, if I'm
Okay,
not
yeah.
mistaken.
So yeah. All right, so we got one more thing, and then we're gonna wrap this up. We have the
Hmm.
Kings list, and now, and you know how we get it started. We always do the King list where it's the top five everything. So, but first, let's get this started first, like this. All right, the Kings list. So this is my list of the top five WrestleMania weekend matches.
Hmm.
At number five, I'm gonna give it to Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Back and forth matches, great. It told a great story. It basically made both look strong. It was moments where it showed that you thought that LA Knight was going to beat Fatu, but all in all, we see a small werewolf win the United States Championship as his first title since being in WWE. At number 4, I'm gonna give this one to, you know what, an NXT match, Fatal 4-Way for the Women's World Championship in NXT. Stephanie Valkyrie versus Julia versus Miss Parker, Jada Parker, and
Hmm.
Jordan Grace. Great match, back and forth. Everybody in that match did what they were supposed to do. It was told a great story. Stephanie Valkyrie is legit. She is legit. Jada Parker, she got next. Let's just be honest. So does everybody in
Hmm.
that match got next. I just said that. All four of them proved what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
At number 3, I have the triple threat match between Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Like we said, the match told the story. Paul is now with Punk. I mean, Paul was with Punk, low
Hmm.
blowed him. Then with the Roman, low blow him. Now he's with Seth as not even advocate or wiseman. He just, we don't know. He doesn't have a
He's just
name
Paul.
yet. He's just Paul. At number 2, a triple threat match from
Okay.
NXT Stand Deliver. Trick Williams versus Javon Evans versus Oba Femi, which was a great match on Saturday night. I don't care where anybody, Saturday morning, well, Saturday afternoon. It was a
There you
great
go.
match overall between them two. It showed that one, Oba Femi's a real deal. Trick Williams is now ready to get called to the main roster, and Javon Evans is the future.
He
He's
is.
only 20
He
years
is.
old. 20. And at number 1, of course, the women. We gotta show love to the women. It's
Hmm.
the other triple threat match. Triple threat match just took over the weekend. Let's just say that. It's Becky. I mean, not Becky. It's Bianca Belair versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship.
Hmm.
They had a back and forth match. All three of them. So many like close falls and pins. It was great. Everybody did their part. Io came out on top. That was the match of the weekend.
It was.
Those are my top
Definitely
5
was.
matches for the Kings list. Number 5, I had Solo and LA Knight. I mean, Solo. I mean, I had Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. Number 4, I had the Fatal 4-Way between Stephanie Valkyrie, Jada Parker, Julia, and Jordan Grace. Number 3 was the first triple threat match with Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Number 2 was the other triple threat match with Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Oba Femi, and number 1, the women's triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Those are my
Hmm.
top 5 matches of the weekend. That was a lot to say.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. So, like I said, also we had other stuff happening too. We had a few returns.
Yep.
Monday night we had a return of Rusev,
Rusev Day.
and then Friday night we had a return of Aleister Black. He kept his music. Thank God. I thought he was gonna get Death Rebel. But luckily they said, nah, the music he had is that mystique. He keeps that. Also,
Definitely.
another thing happened on Friday night. Shout out to Selena Vega for winning the Women's United States Championship.
Let's go, Zelina.
I wasn't expecting it, but she beat Chelsea. And,
It's
Chelsea,
about time.
shout out Chelsea Green as well. She is red hot as a person because with her service,
Hmm.
it's so perfect and everything. With her being the way she is, I don't know what's going on with her now because I know she just posted a post saying goodbye WWE, something like that. It could be a work or something, or she could be injured. We just don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but shout out to Selena. She deserved that title after the stuff she was doing. That moment she had at Backlash in Puerto Rico and everything. For her to
Hmm.
be her time as a champion is great. Not only did she become a champion, her husband came back in the same night.
How about that?
All right, all right, guys. So we're going to head out of here. Like I said, we will be here and everything. Now next week we're actually going to take off because after having the live stream and everything last weekend, and then doing this episode, we deserve a little break. We'll be off for a week. We'll be back the following week to talk about some stuff. Whatever happened this week on Raw, everything, we'll catch up.
Hmm.
So we'll be back the following week, if anything, and we're gonna have a guest. I've been in talks with the guest, so we will have the person here.
Yep.
So you got anything coming up, bro? We want to sponsor your other podcast?
Turning Time Podcast, YouTube, check it out. We did an episode of WrestleMania's recap, and we also talked about the Rock situation. It got a little heated. That's the only spoiler I'm giving y'all. But check it out though.
Okay, cool. Also, I want to announce that our page is just gaining some lot of subscribers. So
Hmm.
right now we're at 837 subscribers for our podcast, which is big for us.
Acknowledge
So
us.
please, as I always say, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Leave a like all the time, please. Leave the likes. We enjoy the likes.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Keep subscribing. Keep subscribing,
yeah,
y'all.
please keep subscribing. Like I said, we keep doing this show. It's gonna be fun for us and everything. And I already said we're still doing that in studio episode where we're gonna record us talking to each other.
Hmm.
All right, so guys, so we're gonna head out of here. So, like I said, next week we're off, and we won't be back until the following week. So everybody, stay safe. Have a good 2 weeks, basically. Well, basically have a good break from us for a little bit because we gotta relax a
Hmm.
little bit because we for us to do those 2 nights and then do this episode, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So have a good night, guys. Stay blessed.